Hi, this is Zak Mir with the May Bank Holiday edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes, and starting off with the FTSE 100, where you can see that we're sort of in the middle of a little range here. The futures close around 74.70, or at least the spread betters close around 74.70, because it was a bad session towards the end on Wall Street. But 76.75 resistance, that line there from February, and around 73.40 as support. Just above the rising 200-day moving average at 72.95. The fact that that's rising adds positive momentum. It does suggest that we have the chance of coming out of the latest Wall Street dive on the positive side. But I have to say, it looks rather difficult, the prospect of breaking 76.75 anytime soon. If we do that, it's up towards 8,000, but a break of the 73.40 area, I think we must be looking at the prospect of another dip towards that main one-year uptrend line there around the 7,000 level. We've tested that quite a few times now since over the last year, but obviously there in July last year, and especially September, and the Omicron dip in November. So it's almost as if this market does enjoy testing the 7,000 area as support. So that's something that maybe can't be ruled out ahead of any potential move to the upside after that. On to the stocks, and starting off with Clontarf, which was a happier story than the FTSE appears to be providing at the moment. Here we were looking for an initial target here around 0.37, which was easily achieved on Friday. Next level up towards 0.55, which is a resistance line from back in the middle of 2020, so quite a long time ago. Bit of wiggle room on exactly where that line is, but 0.55 or so seems to fit the bill. And that's valid while we hold above the 0.34 level, which was the initial April resistance. On to a happy story for patient holders, Emmerson. Here you can see that shares have well and truly hit the potential 9p target that we were looking for. They did it via an unfilled gap to the upside, so that shows an acceleration there, and potential buyers rushing into this situation. And we've got a top of 2018 price channel target here, size 14p, which could be hit over the next couple of months, and certainly while we're above the the old resistance from March at just shy of 8p. So above 8p, looking for 14, and ideally no sustained action back below the 9p level. One of the recent rises, which continues to look encouraging, is Jersey Oil and Gas. Here we've got a situation where we had an unfilled gap to the upside on Thursday. Very impressive, and obviously the great follow-through on Friday. In terms of what might happen next, we're looking, I suppose, in the way that we're looking at Emmerson for trying to find the upper parallel resistance line. That would appear to be drawn, or that line there that I've just drawn would appear to be the right place. That's heading towards £3.30, and certainly while we're above recent resistance around 220, we've got the chance of 3.30, even if the shares have to regroup after that spike on Friday towards what was the high there, around 267. So 220, 230 area support, and up to 330 as a best case scenario on Jersey at the moment. Bit of a disappointing situation in terms of Jubilee. The fundamentals seem to be fantastic, but we're still in this range from around 14.5p to 18p. Ideally, the shares will find support once again around the 14.5p level. If you're cautious here, then I suppose you want to see a clearance of the 50-day moving average around 15.5 before assuming that we'll get back into the 18p area. But hopefully at some time soon, this stock will stop being a range trade and actually start being a trending trade again. Moving along to a situation which is maybe rather brighter than Jubilee at the moment, and it's from Kavango. Here it looks like we've finally broken the bear run that the shares have had. So we've broken out of that falling wedge to 2.7p on Thursday. We had bullish divergence as well going into that. Our initial target was around 3.9p, which was we didn't get too far away from that on Friday. Above 3.9p, looking for the main resistance line there from August last year, as high as 5.7p, perhaps by the end of next month, i.e. by the end of June. This stage only back below 2.5p, really delaying the upside scenario. On to Kropz, which is a stock which is looks like it's finding favour again after that pullback, rather painful pullback from back in March. Here we've had a double bottom around 7p and the floor of the rising trend channel at that level, the trend channel from back in April last year. Top of the channel heading for 17p, which could be a decent 2-month target, so by the end of June. Best case scenario target here as high as 24-25p at a resistance line there from back in early last year. But everything here hinging on the 7p zone to be held. Very good performance of late from Mila, and it looks like the stock is going to continue that. Here we had an unfilled gap to the upside towards the end of last week, and or early part of last week, in fact, and might be the case that we actually accelerate beyond the rising trend channel from February. At the moment, we're looking for 7.5 while we hold above the 5.5p area, and let's see how quickly it takes for the shares to get to that notional 7.5p target. Moving along to a stock which doesn't have much charting furniture on it, but it's been quite an amazing move for MC mining of late. We've got the shares rising in an almost sort of exponential type way. We had a golden cross as well over the last week of April, and it looks as though at least while we're above the recent support around 8p, we could see the shares heading up to the top of the broadening triangle I've drawn from last year, as high as 16p by the end of this month. Only back but well below 6p, really turning this into a failed bull situation, but looks very, very strong indeed. On to Orosur, which I believe I interviewed during the week. And here we've got the glimmers of shares changing their trend, so breaking that line of resistance from January. Above that line and above, especially above the 50-day moving average at 10.75p, looking for 16 by the end of this month. Hopefully that gives the shares enough time to deliver the goods. Pembridge also looking more interesting of late as well. I know it had its fans before. Got an uptrend line there from back at the end of February. That's running around the 5p area, an uptrend line in the RSI window as well. So above 5p, looking for the top of that rising trend channel from October up towards 9p, maybe over the next 2 months. If you're cautious, maybe wait for an end of day close through 6p, even after the gap that we had higher at the end of the week. Finishing off with Wishbone Gold, which has sort of slowed down of late, but I've still maintained the idea that this is the range has been re-established here between, let's call it 7p and 14p. Nice close higher on Friday, and maybe that's the first sign that the shares are ready to break the near-term resistance around 8.4p and head back up to the top of the range. That's it for me today. More updates during the week.